learn to differentiate between wasting time and patience.
We already talked about the struggles and the frustrations we go through as adults, and now we are bringing you the solutions. Some have worked for us, and the others we are still on the process of experimenting.
Just in case this is your first time watching any episode from Senses. Hi, I'm Christy. This is Velma. We realize this is a part 2, but someone may interact with this first. So hi, I'm Christy. She's Velma, and this is Senses. So today we're doing a video on
solutions to our frustrations and struggles as adults. Okay, young adults to be specific. Are you a young adult?
Mini young adults, Mr. Jose,
Yes. So what I've learned is, okay, we're just going on like haraka. So one thing I've learned about adulting is like you cannot run away from these frustrations. They must be there. Even if you have the finances, okay, money will never be enough. Okay, well, for me it's never been enough. So even if you have the finances, you are living a good life, the frustration will still be there. So one thing I've learned so far so good, learn to differentiate between wasting time and patience. And with this,
no, I know where it's coming from, but I'm just like points.
Yeah. If something is draining you emotionally, drop it. That is wasting time. If you feel
not being patient.
If you feel
whether it's a job or a relationship.
Anything that cuts across that line. If it is draining you mentally, it has some risk on your mental health. That is wasting time. Drop it as soon as yesterday. Another thing, patience. If you feel like, okay, as much as I'm waiting for these things, it's going to bear some fruits at the end of the day. There's a ray of hope at the end of the day. So it's worth pursuing it. So that's patience. Keep on doing it and keep on being persistent.
Okay. Woo! Velma ametransition on a high note. That's niko kidogo confused. Okay, so
bado nafikiria patience.
bado nafikiria that huge point. I'm still digesting it.
Kama your boyfriend anakukula akili, leave that nigga alone.
It's not patience, it's wasting time.
You're wasting time, my sister.
And you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting yours, sis. You're wasting yours. Camera kappa, you're wasting yours. Okay, that was not the point. So, I'd say my first approach to how to handle frustrations and stress that comes with adulting is to take everything with a pinch of salt. That's a common quote we usually hear out here, but let me elaborate it. Like, let's say Veli is going through a hard time, and I feel like I'm not in a position to technically help out. The pinch of salt mentality is that if you don't want to oversalt your food, you pinch and salt it, So if you're taking something with a pinch of salt, you're taking only as much as you can handle, Don't be so quick to pile everything up. It's the same situation that works with frustrations that you get from people in your circles who are frustrating you about unatuletea mtu nini, or sijui ati what are you doing about your life. You take everything with a pinch of salt. Same thing also applies to when you're hearing advice from people. One person may not offer you all the advice you need. One person may also be like someone you don't like. Maybe someone you don't like, but they have a point. So that's the mentality of pinch of salt. You can choose to pick something that only works for you.
And maybe someone is offering you that advice and they have not gone through that. So it is different from the person advising you that, okay, she's been there. So at least her advice probably would make sense. And maybe some can't relate.
Exactly. So if you learn the analogy of taking everything with a pinch of salt, you'll save yourself a lot of stress, because it allows you to only take what you can manage so that you don't overdo tena. Sasa tumefika place yenye hatuna hiyo nguvu, bro. Hatuna hiyo nguvu. Yeah.
Okay, another thing is that clap for yourself.
That's a nice point. I like it.
And I want to hit her back with her own words. dress like your solutions.
I think
Dress like your solutions and not
I know where that's coming from. Those times when you look like you're going through a lot of things, but you look good, like on the outside. Like, I know I look good right now. You don't have to tell me. Yeah, like you dress like your solutions, not your problems. Like,
and accept. Okay, everything starts with accepting the way you are, the situation, and just go through the process. Whatever it is, just go through it faithfully. At the end of the day, everything will sort itself. Mengine, as we say, there's a reason why God said cast all your burdens to me. So cast your burdens to God, and you just remain with what you can handle. The rest, leave it to God. I think that one is still a process, but hopefully it can work.
Is there such a thing as postponing struggle or frustration? Like, I've thought of it right now. You mentioned you feel like penye nimefika leo, I don't have the energy to continue dealing with what I'm dealing with, so I'm just gonna shelve it. I'm gonna take a shower, eat and sleep, then deal with it tomorrow.
It makes sense to me. Okay, that's also a solution.
It's a solution in some sense.
Probably you're just tired, or your mental health is not capable of handling it at that particular point. And tomorrow when you wake up with a fresh mind,
a clearer mind, it may help.
It may help.
So I had this point about living within your means. The main reason why we're frustrated about money is because tunataka kwenda vacation na tuna pesa. So live within your means. Living within your means will help you a lot, especially with the inflation and everything. Living within your means means if your budget does not allow you to, have bacon as a breakfast alternative, don't buy bacon. Bacon is expensive. Like,
buy bread.
Buy bread and eggs. Yeah, eggs is also protein. So now, by the way, processed meat, we act like processed meat is like the epitome of making it in life, but they're not good for you anyway.
Yeah,
so
not good for your health.
Yeah, so you are struggling. Anyway, like, live within your means. If you must treat yourself, because we cannot also rule out treating yourself completely, have there's something called cheap thrills. Like, go on a low budget vacation. It doesn't have to be too costly.
As long as you are earning, use your 2 cents to treat yourself as well. That's the reason why that is one way of clapping for yourself.
Yeah, it also punguzas your stress. Imagine you're constantly working. I think maybe in the near future we'll do a video on budgeting, where within your budget you actually include money for your entertainment fund, because it's important.
Yeah, really important.
You can't just be working, toiling and struggling, and you're not like rewarding yourself. Don't get frustrated. You'll be a very bitter person in life.
Okay, I'll talk about grief, the solution to grief. As I'd mentioned, I'd given you the definition of grief. It doesn't necessarily mean losing someone. It means things are not going the way you'd intended them. Maybe you'd planned by 25, I should be living in a certain spacious apartment in Lavington.
It is so rude.
But now, I should be driving a Jeep and you are Pro Box here.
Where?
Auntie Demi should be driving like a Demi right now for Mitsubishi. Still working. So, such kind of things can frustrate you, especially when you see even younger people are doing it, and where we're just there sitting like an old potato.
Imagine.
But anyway, solutions to this is take one step at a time, and learn to embrace. I've come to embrace this part of growth. I feel like it's during this phase you get to learn a lot, so it's part of growth. So just learn to embrace it, and as I said, one day at a time, and don't allow yourself to be pressurized with the kind of things that are going around you. And also change the way you do things.
Can I cut in before I forget? Because you've triggered a point. When she said one step at a time, I know when we say this, it sounds so normal, but think of it this way. When you're, let's say, imagine yourself in a situation where you're quite sick, you're like in pain, maybe you can't even breathe properly, and you're trying to get to a medical facility. If you try running, you're probably gonna collapse before you get there. But if you take one step at a time, you might just make it. Inaitangwa the analogy of one foot in front of the other. Like una struggle, but as long as you lift one foot, put it down, lift the other foot, put it down, you're gonna make progress as compared to trying to run when you're not really capable of running. So that's the analogy of one step at a time.
Also, if you can run.
But kama inaweza kimbia uishi huko mwisho.
Yeah, there's that step here. If you cannot walk, do what?
Run.
Yeah, if you cannot walk, run. Or okay, anyway. So I was onto my point again. Change the way you've been doing things. If you've been waking up at 10, answer kuamka 5. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, you get me. Change the way you've been doing ways. Change the way you've been. You want to say something about
I wanted to interject and be like, time is a currency. Time is a currency.
But I think, I didn't necessarily mean maximize on your time usage. Just that way. Hata kama utaamka 10 and you're going to sleep at around 1 a.m. Makes sense. Yeah.
Like try to invest your time in what helps you resolve your problems.
Yeah.
Even if it's not necessarily making money, take an extra hour before bed, not to watch loyalty tests on YouTube. Upon you may throw shade. Like watch something that builds you.
Yeah.
Watch like say something
Money
that go through Money Mondays by Ivy.
Yeah, just Ivy.
Yeah, by just Ivy, or like go through something that at least helps you,
That can
motivate you or develop you and punguza your problems.
Senses can also motivate you. So
Senses! Like watch Senses videos. We'll give you the good vibes.
yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we've concluded on that point. Change the way you do things. If you have one source of income, try to get another one. Like those kind of things. So if you do things differently and you see if that change, the change you've been wanting will come.
It may not come instantly, but if you feel a little bit, better.
If you've been going to Migunas, or is it Magunas or what?
Magunas supermarket. The supermarket. The Magunas, the supermarket. That's what you meant.
Okay, I don't know if I meant that. Okay, let me phrase it this way. If you've been going to Pronto, start going to Kempinski, and you'll see the change.
Where am I lose? Struggles when you don't understand what your friend is saying. Way, bro.
I mean, it's just simple. If you're used to big square, now change. Go to something like Hilton, Kempinski.
Give yourself a new. But then it's kind of motivating when you give yourself a taste of the life that you anticipate. If you can afford it, don't take loans to go for lunch. Okay, though we do it, but don't do that.
Maybe I'll take loans to go for lunch. Once in a while.
That's bad advice. Loans are not income.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use a loan for something, please use it for something that's an investment, not a liability.
Also, you can change. You can also change friends. It's allowed by
or cut off people.
Cutting off and replacing with, or even you can stay without friends. I've seen people who have survived. Yeah.
Where no man is an island, man. No man is an island. I've tried. I'm the most introverted person and I've tried. It's not easy. It's not easy living like an island.
Okay, your point.
Or maybe on that point I'd say learn to categorize the kind of friends that you have. There's friends that you'd move heavens and earth for. Put them in circle number 1. There's friends that you hang out with occasionally, talk with them occasionally, put them in circle number 2. Circle number 3 is friends who maybe you'd want to cut them off, but like haijafika that extremities, but they're still your friends.
Okay, in a nutshell, what you're trying to say is that just give people the energy they're giving you.
Yeah,
Replicate.
exactly.
Yeah, don't go overboard if someone cannot go overboard for you.
Yeah. If someone is always the taker, it's easy, but then that's very toxic. At this stage in life, that's
Scratch
very
your
toxic.
back. I scratch my back, I scratch yours. Yeah. Literally.
Okay, sorry, that was a bit weird. So some of Velma's points. She's talked about grief. Personally, I don't know how to deal with grief. If there's anything the loss of my cats and kittens has taught me is that I don't know how to deal with grief. So maybe I'll take a leaf from Veli, or like the real grief. I'm talking about the grief of loss, like something or someone has died. So Yeah, I've not yet dealt with that, but I hope that I'll be a bit better. So also about struggling with feeling like you're not really accomplishing your goals, or you're really not making progress. Making where Rift Valley Rift Valley is calling my name. Wink wink. So you just keep trying. As basic as that sounds, it just means when you wake up one day, although I don't like to categorize it as that, let's say if you're having a bad day today, you have to wait until tomorrow to try and make that day better. I've noticed that if you keep doing that, you run out of the year. Like, you keep saying tomorrow will be better, tomorrow will be better. I'll do unapata mwaka imeisha. So what you do right now, here and now, right now it's 12 noon, and you're kind of feeling like this hour is not going so well for me. I'm not maximizing the time that I'm spending. So give yourself a 5-minute break, 10-minute break, play your favorite game, play your favorite music, and get back into it. Keep trying. Like, even if you try like after 1 hour at 1 p.m. and try, and then once you've tried you feel like it's not working again, then you repeat the process over again. As long as you keep trying, you're less likely to feel very frustrated. You're less likely to feel like I'm not really doing that much. Then the last thing I'd say, pace ni yako. When we were training as skaters, I remember there was a guy who used to when we were training to learn how to skate, there's a guy who would always say, because you're skating with experienced people, and then they'd be like, wengine wanaenda bio, and then you just felt like, maze, you try going fast enough, you fall down. So if you go with pace ni yako, you stop looking around at what everyone else is doing. Yeah. You start focusing on your own lane. Am I skating the right way? Am I aware of my surroundings? Am I protecting myself, or am I just going with the flow? Watu kimbia pia mimi nakimbia. That's gonna frustrate you. It's gonna get you hurt. It's gonna cause you problems. So if you go with your pace, even with this story, marriages and children, there's a lot of baby fever and marriage fever going around. So go with your pace. But then if you're feeling like you're not in a place to have a child right now, or get married right now, pace ni yako. Regardless of what people may say, at the end of the day, you in that house, with that partner or alone, do you feel most at peace? If you do, then the pace is still yours. If you get into the pressure of getting married because everyone is asking you when are you gonna get married, and you're in that house, you're gonna know that you will know. The one person you can be most honest with yourself is you yourself. When you're alone, you'll always be honest with you. You will always know if you're pretending. You'll always know if you're into it. Yeah, or if you're doing something for the sake of it. So, but then that's another way of dealing with frustration. Always be honest with yourself. If you're going through a rough time and you don't really say, but I can't handle this, you can't handle it.
Also, I think to add on that, you might start like 10 years later than the rest of us who started 20 years ago, but still do better than all of us. So, pace yako, your pace really counts on that. I think in that, there's another point of confusion, getting stuck. Yeah, I know most people will just tell you, just do it, but it's not that easy. It's not just...
When you need like capital to just do it, you have a business idea, but you need capital. How do I just do it? That's not pesa,
how are you just going to do it?
Yeah,
it's not that easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah, so take your time. Sometimes you need to take your time and...
sleep on it.
Yeah, sleep on it. Put your shit together when you start. At least you are ready for it. Be ready emotionally, physically, and also financially.
Ooh, umenikumbusha something. There's something I think I watched on a number 25 video. It was about being kind to yourself. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, if you're constantly criticizing yourself, it's gonna be very hard for you to get over the rough patches in your life. Say if you break a cup, and then you're like, inside, we talk to ourselves inside, but then we need to be more aware of how we talk to ourselves on the inside. You start telling yourself, I'm so clumsy, you're so, what's wrong with you? Imagine if the one person who criticizes you the most is you.
What about the rest?
Not even not about the rest. Can you imagine if 24/7 you live with a person who's always criticizing you, and that person is you? It's gonna be really hard for you to overcome something. So be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I know it's overrated and it's said a lot, but try to be kind to yourself. If you break that cup, tell yourself it happens. It's a sign from God to replace my cutlery. I don't know. Whichever helps you cope, like just try. Yeah, be kind to yourself.
Okay, and lastly, I'll use Christy's point. She's saying it a lot of time. Ukichoka sana, lamba glucose. Yeah, because life has to go on. There's no other way. Like, it's you to deal with your own shit. So yeah, lamba glucose.
Yeah. If you tulia too much, utapata you'll be having a lot of catching up to do. It's like in campus when an assignment is due in 2 weeks, then you're constantly saying sina capacity ya kufanya your assignment. Then you keep letting it go on and on and on and on and on. Itafika a point where life will move on so much that you'll not be able to catch up. So yeah, try as much as possible.
Oh, lastly, okay, I'd said lastly, but this is my very last point. Christy had mentioned in the previous video, you have someone to talk to. It helps.
Oh,
it helps, yeah. And also, to sum it up all what we've talked about, pray. Yes, have a relationship with God. I don't know how, but just make sure you have a relationship with God. It really helps. Yeah, and guys, that's the end of the video. Yeah, please like, comment, and yeah, also share it with your friends. Until next time,
bye.